So we have, let's do a quick roll call. We have Tony in the classroom with me, and then we have Ananya, Jenna, Neil, Ria, Ritika, Samriddhi, Vishal, Viswa, and Jasmita. So it's majorly populated by girls. We have only Viswa, Vishal, and Neil. 3 of the boys holding the fort. All right. So we have been talking about, let's do a quick recap of what we have learned. Okay, so we have learned about what is a unit circle, and then we saw, okay, how do we relate the SOHCAHTOA to a concept and use the unit circle for dealing with it. Okay, then we learned about basic trigonometric concepts. That is where we learned about basic trig functions, then the complementary angle concepts. Then we looked at some of those concepts relating to trigonometry, geometry, and algebra altogether. I mean, not algebra, trigonometry and geometry. That is where we talked about applying the Pythagorean theorem and finding out different angles for the triangles. Correct? Then we looked at what is circle theorem. That is where we talked about arc length, central angle, and the sector, and how do we find out the area and the length of all these, right? So how to find the length of the arc, or how do we find out the area of a sector of a circle, right? Now we are, hello Saranya. Okay, so now we are going to talk about circle equations. Anybody who recalls what is a circle equation? If you want to briefly touch upon that, help me recall what we want to talk about. Anybody, whatever is your understanding, go ahead and share it. It's okay. Right or wrong doesn't matter. What is a circle equation? No idea? No, you guys are just being shy. Hello, Sarah. Okay. Tony, any idea what is circle equation?
Like the equation you use to find the area of a circle.
Okay. Yes, Ria, go ahead. I heard a definition from Tony. Let's see what Ria and Jenna want to share. Yes, Ria, go ahead.
I think it's like in parentheses x minus h to the power of 2 plus in parentheses y minus k to the power of 2 equals r squared.
Okay. How about Jenna? Let's hear Jenna's version also.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, she borrowed your idea.
We have to add on though.
Okay, go ahead.
The h and the k, those are the coordinates of like the circle, or like the middle of the center of the circle.
Center of the circle. Okay. I think you guys are pretty much aware of it, but I will kind of break it down in my own lame way, like I always say. So let's see who joined between. So I think it's Sarah joined and Saranya joined. Everybody else was there with us before as well. Okay. So now let's decode that in the simple way, or in the lamest possible way, and then we'll use those concepts for dealing with it. So as you guys know, circle equation, some of you gave me the formula also, x minus h square plus y minus k square equals r square, where Jenna told that where h and k are the x and y coordinates of the center. Now let me take a step back. If I start with, somebody says, all of a sudden, let's say I just woke up in the morning and somebody says, let's talk about circle equation. How would my brain assimilate that? How would I convince myself what exactly we're going to talk about? Circle equation is an equation that represents a circle. As simple as that. If I say a linear equation, 2x plus 3y equal to 15 is a linear equation because it represents a line, a straight line. Yeah, everybody with me? Similarly, circle equation will be an equation that will represent a circle. So by looking at this equation, there are things that you can find out. Okay, this is a straight line. I will convert this into slope-intercept form. From that, I will find out the slope of the line, like whether it's going down or going up. And I will also find out what is the y. If I convert that to y-intercept form, I will also find out where it is touching the y-axis, right? So by looking at the equation or by decoding the elements of the equation, you can find out the behavior of the equation. Similarly, a circle equation is an equation. So it certainly has an equal to, is an equation that represents a circle. Now let's look at different elements of the equation. So there are two forms of the equation, okay? I will say, okay, let's go with whatever Dia and Jenna told. X minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square, where h and k are the x and y coordinates respectively of the center of the circle. So now let's draw the circle. Okay, I know this is not looking like circle. Tony is struggling to figure out why my teacher is saying this is a circle. This looks more like a potato. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, you guys are dealing with somebody who doesn't have great skills when it comes to drawing, but okay, little better. Yeah. So this is a circle. Now, if I relate this circle with this equation, what you guys told is, what we know about circle is circle is a round shape, closed shape, where we only need to know two things. One is what is the radius and where is the center located. So here this is your radius, length of the radius is r, and the center is located at h comma k. Okay. So this becomes your standard form of a circle equation. X minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square, where h comma k is the center of the radius. Make sense? Everybody? Yeah? I'm just relating it, okay? I'm not explaining anything, I'm not claiming any knowledge being shared from my side. I'm just reiterating what you guys told me. Now, what will happen? Let's imagine a situation where my circle moves in a way that my center of the circle coincides with the origin of the coordinate plane. Then my h and k, both the values will be 0. Yeah? So then this equation will become x minus 0, that is x square, plus y minus 0, that is y square, equal to r square. So these are the two types of equations that you will deal with when it comes to circle equation. One, when the center of the circle coincides with the center of the coordinate plane, then you are dealing with this because your h and k both became 0. If your center is lying somewhere whose coordinates are h and k, x and y coordinates are h comma k, then it will be x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square. So far this is okay. Now you guys must be thinking that okay, fine, this looks all fancy and the teacher is contradicting himself. I always keep on telling you guys that I'll be the last person on the earth to ask you to memorize a formula and say, okay, don't ask me why. This is the formula, use it, live with it. Okay? So, I just gave you guys the formula and I'm saying, okay, this is the formula for circle equation. No, we will not do that way. Let's look at a simple one. Let's understand from where this formula came into existence. Are you guys with me so far? Everybody? Is everybody able to hear me okay? See the board okay? Alright. So there is no formula that comes out of the blue. Every formula has an origin, every formula has a concept behind due to which the formula came to existence. Now, This is my circle. Okay? Forget about what you have, coordinate plane, x and y, all that. Just forget it for easy. Okay? Now, when I'm talking about circle, look at this circle little carefully, okay? With little more intensity, as if you are going to destroy this circle. Okay? Look at all these points that you see along the perimeter of the circle. These points that you see on the border of the circle, these are the ones together making the circle, right? So what you are seeing here is a path along which all these points are moving, correct? Yeah? So if I find out, or if we find out any point on the perimeter, okay, and find out the behavior of that guy, how the x coordinate, y coordinate is relating with the radius of the circle, that if we can find out that pattern, that will tell me, okay, this is the pattern that we'll use as a formula for this circle. Okay, so let's pick a point here. I picked up this point. All the points are of the same color, so let me pick a point which is visible to everybody and looks different. Okay, let me pick a point here. Let me make that point visible first. Okay, this is a point. You guys can see that red one on the board, and let me color that point also so that it is visible from a far distance for all of you. Okay, so this red circle that you see is actually denoting that there is a point here on the circle. Okay, let's try to decode the behavior of this point. Meaning, let's try relating this point with the x and y coordinate and the radius, because circle is one of the simplest shape on earth. If you know what is the radius of a circle, you can find it out. This circle, this circle, this circle, everything is related by only one point, one behavior, one property, and that is the radius. Smaller the radius, smaller the circle. Bigger the radius, bigger the circle. Bigger the radius, even bigger the circle. Now think about it. Do I have something here which I can try rotating? Okay. Okay. So think about this wire. If I'm rotating this is making a circle, right? Only the length of this wire is deciding how big the circle would be. If I made the wire even bigger, the circle that I'm making is getting bigger, right? So there's only one thing that is deciding how big the circle would be, right? That is the radius. So, are you guys seeing me play with those things? Okay, I'm playing because math is all about playing with it, concepts. So basically, there's only one thing, the radius of the circle, that decides how big the circle would be. Okay. So here, for this circle also, if any point on the perimeter of the circle, if I can relate that with the radius of the circle, that will give me a good correlation to see what denotes a circle or what represents a circle. Does it make sense? Any point that you pick up will be same distance from the center, right? That is what is a circle, right? Every point. If I pick this point and join these 2 points, this length and this length will be the same, correct? That is the radius. Are you guys with me, or I'm going in the wrong direction? Yasmita, Vishal, Jana, everybody with me? Ritika, Viswa, Neil, Sana, everybody? Okay. So basically what I'm saying is, a circle, my best way to decode a circle is by knowing the radius of the circle. And any point on the circle, if I relate that with the radius, I am kind of representing the behavior of the circle. Okay. So now we picked up this red point, and now we are relating it with the coordinate plane. So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. If I pick this point, what will be my x-coordinate? X-coordinate will be x, let's say x and y. Okay. Now what is x? X-coordinate meaning if I drop a perpendicular from here to here, this distance is nothing but x. Okay. And this distance here to here is y. That's why my coordinates are x comma y. Right? Now join this point with this point, center with this point. Now what you're seeing is a right angle triangle OA, let's say this is B, where it is touching the x-axis. So this triangle that you see OAB is the right angle triangle. Now when you deal with a right angle triangle, one concept, one theorem, one information that is handy, given by one universal uncle, Mr. Pythagoras, who is uncle for you guys and for me too. He told that if you have a right angle triangle, the two sides that is making 90 degrees, square of the sum of the two sides that is making 90 degrees will be equal to the hypotenuse square. So here, if you relate that, this distance here to here is x. This square plus this distance y square equal to the hypotenuse square, which is in our case is radius. Yeah. So that is why this equation, this is equation of the circle. That is why it is the circle equation, or equation of a circle. Yeah. We did not find anything new. We just related the property of a circle. Any point with the center is distance radius. Now we are relating that with the Pythagorean theorem concept. We draw the perpendicular from this to here, found out what is the coordinate of the any point x and y, and related that with the radius. And we got the circle equation. You will say, okay, this is fine, but how about this guy? If my circle is like this, same thing. This is, let's say, h and k. Pick up a point which is x, y. Now here, what will happen is you will find out, extend this line parallel to x-axis and connect this two. This is radius. This distance will be what? See, this is x, so here to here is x, and this point is h comma k, so this distance here to here is h. Similarly, this is k, so here to here this distance is k, here to here is y. So same thing here. Now this distance, now this is a Pythagorean theorem, this distance is x minus h, this distance is y minus k, so x minus h square, which is this square, plus this side, which is y minus k square, equal to the radius of the circle, radius square. That's it. It's the same thing. So basically, net circle equation is not something that has come from space. It is just the extension of the Pythagorean theorem that we know, and by relating that with the property of a circle. Let me pause here to get the reaction from all the kids. Did I make sense, or I got some questions for you all? Vishal, was it relatable? Vishwa, Niels, I mean, are you guys able to relate to what I said?
Yeah.
Ritika, Yasmita, Neil, Sarah, Jenna, Samriddhi. Samriddhi is one of the quiet girls. Tell me, beta, is that clear? I mean, whatever I said?
Oh yeah, it's clear. I went to get water.
Yeah, go ahead, beta. It's fine. Hey everyone, I heard you're not well, but you still joined. Are you okay?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Alright. No, Daddy told me that you're not well, so I was not expecting you to be in the class, but you joined. That's a pleasant surprise. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, sir. I just felt a little better, so I just joined.
Okay. So now the summary of this is, we looked at what is circle equation. There are two equations only. X square plus y square equal to r square, when the center of the circle coincides with the center of the coordinate plane, and x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square, in case the center of the circle is not coinciding with the coordinate center of the coordinate plane. Okay, and we just saw it, right? I mean, we just looked at the circle, gave some x and y coordinate value to any point by picking any point on the circle. So this is representing the behavior. That any point that you pick up, the x coordinate square plus y coordinate square will be equal to r square. In this case, here we saw that okay, it's nothing but not x and y. It is x minus h and y minus k because no, your center has moved to some other point. This concept is okay. Now let's go to break our head with some problems and we'll see how do we use the concept for dealing with it. So let's look at some problems. The problems would not be as simple and as straightforward as we learned it. We will see if we come across any tweaks, how do we deal with them. But everybody clear so far? Ready to do rock and roll? Tony, okay? Okay. Let's pick up the next one. Next one is in, let's pick up a problem that we want to solve. So, where is the problem? Okay. So I'm writing an equation now. This is the first question that we want to solve. It says 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 8x minus 5y minus 55 over 8 equal to 0. What is the diameter of the circle? So this is the equation given, 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 8x minus 5y minus 55 over 8 equal to 0. Find out what is the diameter of the equation. How would you guys go about it? Any thoughts? Everybody saw the question, right? Everybody is clear about the question at least? Yeah? 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 8x minus 5y minus 55 over 8 equal to 0. And I see Tony is wearing a Nike shoe. But I'm saying, don't do it. Follow run. Or RAN, R-A-N. Read, analyze, come up with your idea, plan, and then jump onto Nike. So I'll let you guys think for a minute. Maybe I will solve this problem, but I want you guys to think and tell me what is the approach that is coming to your mind. Riya, Ritika, Yasmita, Vivan, Vishwa, anybody? Vishal, Saranya? Saranya is being quiet. So Saranya, tell me beta, how would you approach this kind of problem?
You could like combine all the like terms.
I'm sorry beta?
You could like combine the like terms.
Okay. But you have to find out the diameter of this. So if you combine the like terms, see, this is x squared, this is y squared, this is x, this is y, and this is a constant. How do we do it? Vishal, Vishwa? Yes, Jenna, go ahead, beta.
Wait, maybe I should factor out something.
Factor out something. Okay.
Wait, no, first I move 55 over 8 on the other side,
Okay.
and then I factor it.
Okay.
Like, you know how there's x and then y, like you can factor that out.
Okay. That's one idea. Let's see what. And again, see, I'm not in a hurry to solve this problem and say, okay, see, this is the solution, and see, start bragging about me having the ability to solve this problem, right? I'm not doing that. I want you guys to peel it off. Okay, Yasmita, what's your thought, beta? Tell me. Again, nothing right or wrong. Tell me, how would you approach this problem? I heard Jana said we'll factor it. Saranya said we'll put the like terms together. How about Yasmita, Sarah, Vishwa? Tell me some idea.
I was thinking of putting the like terms together first, because we can see this x and y.
Okay. Okay.
I'll think of the like terms together.
So you'll try finding out x and y. Okay, how about Vishal? Vishal, angry with me? Upset with me? Hmm? Tony, any thought? Tell me something that comes to your mind. It's okay.
Like combining like terms.
Combining right terms.
Mm.
Okay. Anything else? I will make sure that I get you guys out of your comfort zone and then deal with it, okay? So I'm just trying to make everybody uncomfortable and then I will open my mouth. Ritika, what would you do better?
I'm not really sure, but I was also thinking like maybe we'd factor it.
Okay, now let me solve this as a student, okay? I have this equation and I've been asked to find out the diameter. Diameter is double of the radius. Yeah? You have to find out the diameter from this equation. Now, if I go back to what we were doing 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, we saw that there are two forms of the equation, circle equation. X squared plus y squared equal to r squared. And second form was x minus x squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. So if we convert it to this form, where I have x squared and y squared on one side and only a constant on the other side, that becomes my radius. I'll multiply that by 2. Yep. Tony, Yasmita, Ritika, everybody? Yes, Jira, go ahead.
Wait, would you even have to like solve anything, or can you just move 55 over 8 on the other side and then just
That's your
put
radius?
it power of 2, you know?
No, that will be a little quick. Okay?
Oh,
So again, see, I'm peeling off the onion, right, for you guys. So I have two situations, two circle equations that we know of. If I can convert this whole thing into this form, where I have only x squared and y squared on this side, then whatever I have on the other side, that becomes my radius squared. From that I will get the radius, multiply that by 2, that becomes my diameter. But here, life is not so very easy. I have 8x and 5y also. How do I get rid of that? We don't have a way out. Now, then our second option is this one. Because if I do a minus b whole square, it becomes x squared minus 2xh plus x squared plus y squared minus 2yk plus k squared equal to r squared. So I have more than x and y. I have this thing and y term and x term. So I can probably try relating it with this one, okay? Meaning, if I have an equation like this, if I can convert it to this form, probably that might work. Because here I have only 3 terms. In my equation that I have, we have not many terms, right? So we'll probably lean on this one. Let's see if we can map this with this kind of an equation. Is that making sense so far? So far I have done nothing, okay? I'm saying that I have an equation. We know about two circle equation. In this case, the center of the circle is coinciding with the origin of the coordinate plane. In this case, the center is at x comma h. H comma k. Yeah. So we can relate to one of these forms. From that we get the radius. Okay. Now this one is ruled out. This is our only option. Let's try converting this whole thing into this form: x minus h, y minus k form. That's what we are leaning towards. So that is what I was doing before I take out my Nike shoe. We read this question, we analyzed. As part of our analysis, we looked at these two equations and then we are going to take out our Nike shoe. Okay? So now, Tony, you can take out your Nike shoe. Okay? I'm just kidding. Okay? Alright. So here we have this thing. Let's look at it. X minus h squared, y minus k squared. So 2x, let's put the x thing together. 2x squared minus 8x. Let's put these things together. And then y squared minus 5y. These two together. Okay? So this one we have put together. And like Jenna, what you were saying, let's move this guy to other side of equal to sign. Okay? But this is not something x minus something squared, y minus something squared. We still have something to do. Now here 2x squared I can take 2 out here, right? I can take 2 out, this becomes x squared minus 4x. And here, if I take 2 out, it becomes y squared minus 5 over 2y equal to 55 over 8. So far, okay? Everybody? Now, here, x squared minus 4x, if I put x squared minus 4x plus 4, then this is x minus 2 whole square, because it becomes x squared minus 2 into x plus 2 square, right? So it's x minus 2 whole square. If you remember, a minus b whole square is nothing but a square minus 2ab plus b square, right? So here in this one, what is missing is plus 4. If I do a plus 4 here, then it becomes x minus 2 whole square. So what we will do is, we will add 2 x squared minus 4x plus 4. We added it here. Okay, so this will become a perfect square. Okay, so we have to do a minus here, minus 4. So then this thing, but we will not do minus 4 because we are adding it inside the bracket. So 2 times 4, so minus 8 is what we have to add to, equal to 55 over 8. Now this part is taken care. Now let's look at this guy. Y squared minus 5 over 2y. So y squared minus 5 over 2y. So I can put 2 into 5 over 4y. So this will become 5 by 2. Now 5 over 4, so 5 over 4 squared. If I have this thing, so this becomes a squared minus 2 into a into b. So if we add this thing here, y squared minus 2 into 5 by 4y plus 5 squared is 25 by 5 by 4 squared. So what did we do? In this case, we added 5 by 4 square to make this guy a perfect square. Y square minus 5 by 2y. We added, see, it's a minus b whole square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So this is a square. What is my b? So here 2 into 5 by 4 will make it 5 by 2. So we are saying okay, 5 by 4 is my b. So 5 by 4 square that I have added here. So I will subtract 2 times 5 by 4 square, because there is a 2 outside the bracket. Am I getting you guys confused, or so far it's okay? Let me go step by step. So we had this whole equation. We realized that we can convert it to x minus h plus y minus k form. Okay, that will give me the coordinates of the center h and k, and that will also give me the radius. Okay, so we are trying to get to that point. We have this part. 2 is common, taken out. I have x squared minus 4x. But what do we add here to make this a perfect square? If I add 4, this becomes x minus 2 whole square. So that's what we did. But if you are adding at 4 here, so 2 times 4, 8 I am adding, I have to subtract that. Similarly for this guy, I have taken 2 out because we have to put y minus something square form, right? So y minus 5 by 2y became 2. When you take 2 out, it becomes y squared minus 5 by 2y. Now 5 by 2 y, it has to be written to 2 into something into y. 2 into y, 2 into 5 by 4 will be 5 by 2, right? So that is why I am saying okay, this is my b part. So if I add 5 by 4 square here, this becomes y minus 5 by 4 whole square. Okay? So, and then whatever I added here, I have to subtract that so that I am not messing with the actual value. Ritika, Saranya, Samriddhi, Asmita, Jana, am I? Am I making sense to you guys, or you would want me to repeat one more time? Sure. So this is your equation. We are trying to convert that to x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square. We are trying to map to this form, okay? Where h comma k will be my coordinate of the center and r will be my radius, okay? So here x things we are putting together, y things we are putting together, and we are trying to convert that to a square form, okay? So here you can take 2 out so that it becomes x square minus 4x, right? We know a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we don't need to have any coefficient to x square, so that's why we are taking 2 out here. So this becomes x square minus 4x. Similarly here also for y square, we don't need any coefficient, so that's why we are dividing by taking 2 out here. So this becomes y square minus 5 by 2y. And then we are looking at what is missing here to convert this into a perfect square form. Yeah? So in this case, if I add a 4 here, this becomes x minus 2 whole square. So we add it here. So when we are adding it inside the bracket, that means it will be 2 times 4. A is what we have added to this element. Okay? So I am doing a minus of 8. Similarly, in this case, y square minus 5 by 2y. So this is 2ab. So 2a and b. So if it is 5 by 4, then only it becomes 5 by 2 overall. So 5 by 4 is the b part. So I am adding a square of 5 by 4. Yeah. So when I have added inside the bracket, that means I have to subtract that also. So I am subtracting 2 times 5 by 4 square, which I added inside the bracket. Okay. Does it make sense, Ritika?
I understood now.
Okay. Now, so this became 2 times x minus 2 square plus 2 times y minus 5 by 4 square equal to, okay, and then you have to add these things also, minus 8 minus 2 into 5 square by 16. So 5 square is 25 by 16. So this became 25 over 8 equal to 55 over 8. Let's look at how much it is. Minus 8, let it go to the, okay. Let everything go to the other side. So other side we have 55 before, 55 over 8 before, then we moved minus 25 over 8. So it became plus 25 over 8, and then minus 8 went to the other side, that became 8. So 55 by 8 plus 25 by 8. 55 plus 25 is 80. 80 over 8 is 10 and plus 8. 55 plus 25. 80 over 8 is 10 plus 8. Yeah. 18. 18. So this whole thing is 18. So this became, okay, yeah. There is no place, no real estate left here. Let me create some space here. So this whole equation became 2 times x minus 2 square plus 2 times y minus y over 5 over 4 square equal to 18. Now you don't look at this equation. There is no 2, so divide everything by 2. So divide everything by 2. So you divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. So your final equation is this and this knocked off, this and this knocked off. So this became x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 5 over 4 square equal to 18 by 2, that is 9. And that is nothing but 3 square. Your h is 2, your y is 5 over 4. Sorry, your h is 2, y is, k is, your h is 2, your k is 5 over 4, your radius is 3. What will be your diameter? 3 times 2.
9.
Yeah? So basically, if you look at these problems, right? knowing the circle equation in both the situation is not that difficult task. How do we relate or map it with one of the equation is what will help you get to what you're trying to derive. But my dilemma right now is, did I do a decent job to make you guys understand what I was trying to explain? You guys are not saying anything. That means there was a problem. Yes, Mita, did I explain it okay, Mita? Ria, Ritika, everybody, Saranya. I need some assurance, some confirmation that okay, I was able to reach you guys. That's my main motive. Neil, Sarah, did I explain it okay, Beta? I mean, were you able to understand? Vishwa, okay? Saranya?
I was a
Little confused. So now let's put a summary of it, okay? And again, we'll do few more problems. That is where all the dust that we have on the surface, that will get cleared one by one, okay? So, very simple. First thing is, we had an equation that was given to us. From that we were asked to find out the diameter. And as soon as we come across a question, right, we have to start questioning ourselves. How do I find the diameter? Oh, we have a circle equation. One equation says x squared plus y squared equal to r squared. Second equation says x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. Which equation I can map to? Which form of the equation I can map this one to? X squared plus y squared we cannot, because we have x and y terms here also. The only opportunity we have is mapping it in this form. So what you're doing is, you have part of the equation to you. What you're doing is, you are adding the missing parts to convert it into this form. Okay? When you are adding missing parts, you have to subtract it also, right? In the same equation, otherwise you'll be messing with the actual equation, right? So when you are adding something to complete this in the perfect square form, those missing parts when you add, you have to subtract in the equation also. And then you gradually come to this form. And once you come to this form, then it is crystal clear, right? You can map it. From that you find the radius, from that, if somebody says, okay, find out the center, the coordinates of the center also. You'll say, okay, yeah, this is h, comma k, that's it. Yeah? This is just the approach part, okay? So again, even if I repeat this one more time, it may not make much sense. And the trick lies in getting the hands dirty. See, I would want you guys to use this concept, try a few problems, break your head with this, okay? Because there's no teacher who can make that see, right now there's no complexity here. Everything was around the way I was calculating it, okay? So when you do the calculation yourself, get stuck some places, ask for help, get that knocked off, I think that is when it will become much easier like butter. Yeah? Yes, Jenna.
Is there any shortcuts to this? Because I feel like
That's...
this is an actual question on the SAT. This would take a while.
This will take a while. So let's see again. I'll tell you how the shortcuts work. Shortcuts work when we practice a lot of problems, and then from that we define our own tricks. Okay? So that's what we'll try doing. We'll try a few problems. Okay? Let's even use tomorrow's class for practicing few more problems. Okay? When we try few problems, right, that is when you'll see that it will start coming easy to us. Okay? So this one, again, I was trying to explain it assuming that everybody is as constrained by intelligence level as me, right? I mean, I always try to break it into simple terms, because I believe that if I gobble a lot of things and just utter few lines, I'll get everybody confused. So when I'm explaining this to you guys, right, I always assume that I'm explaining to myself the way I would understand it, right? So that's why I might have taken a little longer, but let's try a few problems. When we solve few problems, right, then you'll see that, okay, you're able to find your own tricks, okay? So in the first go, my request would be, try some problems, deal with it, even if it takes time, let's try that. And after solving few problems, I'm 100% sure that there'll be faster techniques, tricks. I'll tell you one technique, okay? Whenever I see the equation, how comfortable you guys are with these equations, the fundamental algebraic identities. This is also going to lay the foundation stone for us to solve the problems in our mind very quickly. If you are able to map to these equations very quickly, you will see that it's doable. When you are struggling to recall these formulas or the identities, that is when it will take longer. Okay. So my request to you guys would be, practice few problems, get your hands dirty enough, you can wash it later, okay, and then from that we'll derive our own techniques, okay. And whenever while dealing with some problems, if I'm able to find out some dirty techniques on the fly, we'll anyways apply them, right? And one technique is obviously ruling out the unwanted options. Second technique is, if you take that call by based on analysis, that okay, do I have to solve it, or am I able to extract some information from the question to get to the answer much quickly? Let's look at the next question. Maybe then that might make a little more sense. Yeah? Is everybody okay, comfortable, or I have shaken everybody big time in the afternoon? Everybody's okay? Alright. Let's look at the next problem, okay? Okay, next question is, a circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints 16. A circle in the xy plane has a diameter with endpoints 16, minus 25 and 4, 13. Okay, a circle in the xy plane has diameters at the endpoint. Has a diameter with endpoints at 16, minus 25 and 4, 13. Which of the following is an equation of the circle? And we are given 4 options. X plus 6 square plus y minus 10 square equal to 397. Second option is x minus 10 square plus y minus 6 square equal to 1588. Third option is x minus 10 square plus y plus 6 square equal to 1588. And the fourth option is x minus 10 square plus y plus 6 square equal to 397. Okay. So I'm reading the question for you guys one more time. It says a circle in the xy plane has a diameter with the end points 16, minus 25 and 4, 13. Which of the equation is the equation of the circle? I'll give you guys 2 minutes to think about it. Noah, you are 7 minutes early for the class. You can enjoy it for 7 minutes or else deal with circle equation. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the 2 end points of the diameter of the circle, okay? So we have been asked to find out which of the equation is representing the circle equation. And if I tell you guys now, I don't want anybody to freak out, but this is a very easy problem. And the trick is, get your hands dirty. When I say get your hands dirty, meaning when you have a situation like this, okay, just because we don't have much time, let me show you guys how easy it gets. Is anybody giving it a serious attempt right now? Who's wanting me to wait for one more minute? Vivan, Sarah, Neil, shall I give it a try? Vishal? So let me show you guys. If you have a situation like this, what I was telling was, getting your hands dirty is the trick. Meaning, when you have a problem, just by looking at the numbers and looking at the equation, it would not make much sense. It may not make much sense. Okay? So the trick is draw it. Okay, it's a circle. Okay, let's say the circle is here. Okay, it says diameter is end point of the diameter. Okay, is 16 comma minus 25 and 4 comma 13. Okay, so my x coordinates are 16 and 4. So obviously I have not drawn it in the right place. Okay, it's somewhere else. It has to be probably, or maybe diameter is like this, these 2 points, and slide it, it's somewhere down. But one catch here is, if your diameter's coordinates are 16 and 4 for the x, what will be the center's coordinate? These 2 by 2, 16 plus 4 will be 20 by 2. Okay? Your x coordinate here. Look at this x coordinate here. Here to this coordinate will be what? If this is 16, this is 4. So 16 plus 4 by 2 will be your center's coordinate. That will be 10 for x. Similarly for y also, add them together. Minus 25 and 13 is minus 12 by 2. That will be 6. Minus 6. So your center's coordinate h comma k you have got as, see, if you know the coordinates of diameter, just add the x coordinate, divide by 2, add the y coordinate, divide by 2, that will be your coordinates of the center. So here it is 20 by 2 is 10, comma 12 by 2 is 6, minus 6. Now when you know this one, the coordinates, so it has to be x minus h square plus y minus k, so minus 6 square. It becomes x minus 10 square plus y plus 6 square. Now look at what are the options you have. X minus 10, okay, these three have x minus 10 square, y plus 6 square, so y plus 6 square. So these two have x minus 10 square, y plus 6 square. What is missing is, now we have to choose between this and this. Okay? That is when you will go back to this one and see how much is the length of the radius here. So length of the radius will be, what is the length of the diameter between the 2 points? It will be, so there's a concept called distance formula between the 2 points. What is the difference? What is the distance between the 2 points? x1, y1 and x2, y2. What is the distance between the 2 points? You know the 2 points. What is the distance? It will be square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Okay? I mean, I'll show that to you guys in the next class, but I'm just telling you how to find out the diameter. So x2 minus x1. Let's say this is x1, this is x2. x2 minus x1. 4 minus 16 minus 12 square, 144. Plus y2 minus y1 square. y2 is, let's say 13 minus 25. So it becomes plus 13 plus 25 is 38. 38 square. So this square root of this whole thing will give you 38 square. 38 is, let's round to 40. So this becomes 1600. 144 plus 1600. This is the diameter square. So it is 1700, and if you divide that by 4, that will be radius square. So 1700 by 4, somewhere around this. So you are looking at this. Now you guys must be thinking, how did we find out the length of the diameter? If you know two points and their coordinates, you can find out the length of the length of the line segment between the 2 points. Okay, there is a formula for that. I'll show you guys how that formula comes into existence. So net for solving this kind of problem, what I was saying was, if you know the 2 points of the end points of the diameter, from that you can find out the center's coordinates and plug that in. You can rule out these two options, then you are leading to these two options, and you have to find out the radius. So from these 2 points you can find out the radius and you can apply that. I know this was a little loaded question. It is loaded only if we are able to, if we are not breaking it down to simpler pieces. Okay, so that means we need to practice few more problems, and that will make it an easy sailing going forward. So I was planning to start data analytics from tomorrow, but probably we'll start it from next week. Let's try dealing with few more problems in the next class and try to make you guys comfortable before we jump on to the next topic. Will that be okay? Yeah? Alright. So I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Tomorrow we will deal with few more problems and we'll keep beating it down to death and become more comfortable. Alright? Alright. See you guys next class tomorrow.